Hey there, Jaden. Hope you feel better. This is your video lesson. Let's see here. Two things I want to talk about. I'll talk about those two things. And as usual, you can have your mom or dad shoot me over a message. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions you got for me. So let's get to it. So we talked a little bit last time on where we want to go with this whole thing, right? The cool thing, and I was kind of sitting here thinking about as I was writing out these notes, is that you've actually done quite a bit with me. And you've grown tremendously as a musician and as a person as well. Right? I always I like to think that when someone's learning this kind of stuff, to learn the stuff that we've covered since we started together, dude, it ain't easy. The theory stuff that you did in school, applying that theory to the guitar for jam stuff, right? We'll talk about in a second. Learning how to do riff rock, how to hold a pick, how to do picking, all that stuff, man. That's not easy. Getting up on stage, that ain't easy at all. That's hard. And you've really done a whole lot since we've been working together. So now's the time you start thinking about, since our time, we do have a limited amount of time together remaining, is we have to think about what we want to accomplish in that remaining time together, right? You've reached a point with me where we have many roads we could travel, and they all have value to them as far as learning. At the point you are now, it is not a linear journey anymore, right? It is not just a straight up shot. Like, so if someone's beginning with me, yeah, like run your chords, run your bar chords, things like that. But if you want to learn how to do like this skill over here, then we like kind of go this way and go up to that skill, we come back down, and then we go to the other skill. So when someone gets to reach your stage of the game, it's not necessarily are they getting better in the linear journey, but which journey do you want to go and which one do you want to learn about? And the cool thing is that I've been doing music for almost 30 years. I've been teaching people 25. And I still am learning every day and practicing every day and doing things I've never done before every day. And there's no way if we can, learn every possible thing in the short time that we've had together. So I got your message and you wanted to talk more about jamming. So we need to talk about what that means for you, because jamming for you might mean something different for another student. So jamming might mean like, Pink Floyd jam songs, right? So psychedelic rock stuff. It might mean Grateful Dead or Fish or Camp or like some other, Leftover Salmon, bands like that. It might mean that your friends learned a cool grunge song and you want to jam with them by playing the same riffs together at the same time and not really necessarily wanting solo. It could also mean we want to explore more of the modal stuff, more like the what we did with Whatchamadoodle, like Any Color You Like, things like that, which I kind of picked up for today. So I want you to think about what genre are you referring to when you're talking about jam and the things I just mentioned there. All of them are cool, and all of them have things that we haven't talked about yet. So there's value of learning in each one of those, right? So, but then also on the other hand, like we talked about before, is that I know how to get to Calcutta. I know how to get to London. I know how to get to Paris, right? I've been to those places. I've been to Moscow, right? Musically speaking. And sometimes people go, you know what, Doug? I'm exactly where I want to be, and I've learned all the things that I want to learn by pushing forward. Now I want to sit back and enjoy the things that I've learned and learn songs like that, where I'm not pushing myself, dexterity, like, musically or whatever, but I want to enjoy the fruits of my labor that I've worked out, and I don't want to push my technique. I want to take the technique I've worked on now and do more of those things. That's the thing to think about as well, right? And there's no right or wrong answer. I've been teaching, like I said, for almost 25 years, and I've sent many high school students off to college, whether they say music or not, and they all have the same sort of thing go on, where at the senior year, they go, what do I want this to be for me? And all my dream is for my students is just to enjoy music for the remainder of your life, right? And just enjoy going to concerts and just, knowing more than the average bear as far as guitar or music. So I'll go with my soapbox now, but just think about things like that. And the things that we're talking about, I've had this conversation many a times with many high school graduating seniors. So think about that. So now to something more tangible and something for you to practice other than some thought stuff and me talking a lot about this camera right here. So I was thinking this is as a fun kind of thing to think about is like, what happens if we just finish Dark Side, right? We already learned a half the album, might as well finish it out, right? I was thinking Breathe by Pink Floyd would be a great jam song that's not riff heavy, but it will allow us to explore the fretboard, take the Cage stuff that we did, the lo-fi stuff, and use that in this song. This room has a lot of breathing room. Has a lot of breathing room as far as things that we can do with it, right? So say if I play these chords here, the opening of the song is just simply E minor. This is where you can use some of your vibing chops that we just learned. Sound familiar? Oh, look at that, we can do caged with it too. How about that? So that's the cool thing about this song, is that for the soloing section, it's literally 2 chords. So we can use that to explore our lo-fi voicings and our chord extensions to make some interesting sounds. That way when you jam with buddies, they might be playing these chords down here, but you'll be playing cool sounds. There's value in all of that, and there's more to learn. Or just be happy with where you are. So what I'd like you to do this week, as far as the verse is concerned, is E minor to A. I'd like you to go back and review the cage chords. I'll send over the caged handout that I have for all this. I have the major one. We'll need to do the minor one too. I'm sure we've done the minor at some point. But you can add in lo-fi extensions to these. So you can take, for example, this, turn it into that if you want to, and then go to the A chord here. Right? All those are fair game. You can play E, E minor 7, right? All those are cool. We can do this. We can talk more about jazz chords in a controlled lo-fi setting or a jam situation where I might play the chords like this. You know, fingerstyle. Some cool new chords. But at the very least, though, go through for that major, the A major chord, and just learn some of your other, go back and review those cage voicings, right? That'd be fun to do. You do stuff like this. Throw some Hendrix fills in there, right? So think about that this week, is that we can take this song that's 2 chords, and man, we can go all over the fretboard and just kind of tie everything that we've ever talked about the last few years, kind of start mashing it together and making your own thing with it, right? That'd be kind of a cool jam song to do. And then as far as the chorus, this is a little bit different, so I'll go with these chords for you right here, the turnaround section in the song. It sounds like this. I'll play through it. One take. And then to solo over top of it. This one, E minor pentatonic, right? And I can add that C sharp to it. To make it into E Dorian, so we can export back into the modes again for jamming. Right? All those things are cool things for us to do. So at the very minimum, go through and go ahead and do some cool voicings for the E minor A using Cage with the handout. Turnaround section right there for you. It's an E minor jam song, but if you add C sharp to your E minor pentatonic, you end up with E Dorian. And so we can turn this into a Dorian jam. If you notice the stuff we've done with Dark Side, Dorian. The album is Dorian. Straight through and through. Different keys, but this change right here, this change for the turnaround. That's really the sound of the album. So think about that right there. And what we'll also do too is, if you want to explore more of this, is that we can maybe pick out like some famous guitar players and learn some of their licks, and we can assimilate them to your playing. Awesome. So like I said, work on that right there. Think about that for me for this week. At least learn those basics of this song right here, and we'll talk more next time. Take care.